Welcome to Disrupt and Discuss with your hosts, E and Casey. A Boucher Ventures production brought to you by Just E TV and My Herba by the Fitness Collective. Now, without any further ado, disrupt and discuss.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
I'm doing great. Well, I
I'm
guess you're
doing
talking to everybody, but I'm putting myself in that category.
Putting
But
everybody
anyway.
yourself in that category. I'm doing well too. Welcome you guys to Disrupt and Discuss, the podcast where we break down modern challenges and explore actionable solutions. I am E,
And I am KC.
and together we are D&D, or whichever one you want to call it. You guys, we got another one for you guys. It's going to be called, this episode is going to be called Redefining Rest, Debunking Myths and Embracing Holistic Well-Being. That's a mouthful.
It sure is.
I
Glad you had to say.
right? Glad I had to say it. Well, this one, I hope you guys are going to enjoy this one. So Casey and I, we always try to make sure that we come with topics that we hope is going to, something that you can use in your real life, that you can use, that you can utilize to better your life or add to your life, add some value to your life if you feel you're missing something. So hopefully you like this one that we're going to come with. And so this podcast is about challenging conventional thinking, exploring transformative ideas to help you live a better, more balanced life. So we're going to start with this truth bomb. The truth bomb is, with regards to this redefining rest, is in progressive, innovative, and powerful nations like us, the U.S., subject, depending on how you look at us, and China, laziness is considered almost like a cuss word. It's like dirty. It's a dirty word. It is. In societies driven by innovation, we are driven by innovation. We have a lot of China and US, we have a lot of startups, we have a lot of innovative new companies that come about, and hard work is like the norm. And often overlooked, a key ingredient for success is rest. A lot of times you are called to, especially when you're working in a startup, and I've worked in two in my lifetime, they kind of break the rules with regards to 8-hour day, right? Even a 10-hour day. Rest is stigmatized. Laziness is sometimes vilified or frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? And pressure to constantly produce, achieve, and outperform can leave you with burnout or be depleted. I know for myself, a lot of times you're always going for that, your performance, your metrics, right? You always have yearly metrics, yearly performance, things of that nature. And so with startup performance review, but a lot of times with startups, they have like these things that are called, like, I'll just throw this one out here, iteration. And iteration is kind of like a way of doing more almost with less. You're constantly trying to create things, improve things, adapt, change, things of that nature. So you're constantly like changing things or improving on things, improving upon things on a continual basis. That can cause burnout sometimes. Sometimes you can get depleted, especially me. I felt like, okay, I've only worked on this for a year. I need a little bit more time to let it work, let it flow. So sometimes you have to make that case for that, to not let's stay here and not improve upon it. You know what I'm saying? So just looking at things like that. But here's the twist with regards to rest. Rest isn't a sign of weakness, even though some may look at it as, oh, you want to rest? Oh, you're tired? You lazy. Rest is not a weakness, and it's not laziness. It's a superpower, you guys. And key to unlocking better physical health, stronger mental clarity, and a great long-term success. So today we're going to deep dive into that, and we're going to deep dive into myths surrounding laziness, the science behind rest, and how rest can make us stronger, healthier, and more productive.
Well, that's a mouthful. So I guess it's my turn.
It's your turn. Let's talk about it.
Well, let's the understanding rest beyond laziness. And as E had said, rest is not laziness. There might be some lazy people that rest, but overall, rest is not laziness. Rest is an active, purposeful process that allows the body and mind to recharge and recover. Scientific studies show that rest improves focus, clarity, emotional resilience, and enabling peak performance. And one of the other things that I wanted to kind of step aside on that is that's even in the workplace. One of the companies I worked at in one of my former lives was a major bleach company. I'll just put it like that. And people would use it as a badge of honor. Oh, I stayed till X amount of time last night. And I'm thinking, you're the fool. But
Right.
they pride themselves. And then, as you said also, that sometimes it's cultural. And over in Asian countries, that's how their work. And the reason why I bring that up was because, again, with the company that I used to work at, it was international. So you
Right.
had a lot of international employees, and staying late, that was the exception. No, that was the norm, I should say.
Right.
And the
Right.
exception was you going home, you slacker you.
Right.
And I tried to hang with everybody and do the late thing, but there's a lot of women, men too, out there that with different roles, you're raising your children. So I'm not going to stay here all day because I have a family back home that I need to be with, I want to be with and or care for. So I stayed late one time, and I usually get off at 4:30, stayed till maybe about 7 o'clock. There was this big project that needed to be done, and why I couldn't wait till Monday is that's neither here nor there. But
Right.
I left on at 7 o'clock on a Friday night. And again, we're from the Bay Area. So for those that you know, I'm on BART, downtown Oakland, Friday night at 7 o'clock. Train was packed. So I'm like, okay, I don't feel so bad. I feel safe, blah, blah, blah. I don't live in the city. I live in the suburbs. So the closer I got to where my stop was, the less and less people were on the train. So therefore, short story even shorter, when my stop came, there was like a handful of people, pitch black. I'm trying to find my car. I'm trying to run to my
Right.
car because the station itself is not close to the actual parking lot. And what first thing that went through my mind was, should anything happen to me, it's because I stayed late for what? So by then I said, forget this. And I said a few more little colorful words to go with it. But it's like, no, this isn't worth it. So then I started leaving at 4:30, whether would have meetings at 4. I'd bring all my stuff with me because 4:30, I'm out of there. You knew what time we all leave. So again, I wasn't considered a team player. I wasn't staying that long. You weren't going above and beyond with
Right.
your job. So again, categorized as lazy, slacker. So and then as you're talking about the metrics, excuse me, then when it came time
Call
for
it
review,
Matrix.
yeah, it felt like it.
Right.
When it came time for review, that comes to bite me in the ass. So it's like, oh, she acts like she's punching a clock. And it's like, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
So you get penalized for that kind of stuff. And it was an uphill battle. So needless to say, I stayed there long enough until I could leave. In a nutshell. Back to what we were talking about. Sorry.
That was
Number
a
one.
good analogy.
Yeah, yeah. It just pisses me off to think about it. And it's been years later. Laziness is in what the myth of laziness is a character flaw. The truth, many factors, including mental health challenges, burnout, and systematic barriers, play into perceived laziness.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it goes on and on. Myth number two, people can say, just try harder.
Right.
The reality is overcoming challenges often requires addressing underlying issues such as stress, poor sleep, or lack of support rather than simply pushing harder. Sometimes just coming into work is a chore. And if you're dealing with
Absolutely.
other outside issues, some people love to come to work so they can escape what's going on at home. But after a while, you're burning the candle in the middle.
Right.
It's gonna self destruct. Myth number three, which is kind of what the myth has been blanketed anyway,
Right.
about rest equals laziness. Studies confirm that rest is critical for long-time productivity and well-being, making it necessary, not optional, and not an optional component of success.
Absolutely. And
You
I can
know,
touch on that a little bit. Just like this weekend, I really needed to shut down. I really needed to shut my brain down. I needed to shut my thoughts down. I needed to just not even look at this, my other things that I have going on. I really had to take a mental step away, sleep, just veg out,
Mm-hmm.
do nothing. When I say do nothing, I didn't want to think about it. I didn't want to do anything with it. I didn't want to touch it, nothing. And today I feel better because I stepped away. Some people may say, "Oh, that's lazy. You being lazy. You should always do something. You got to keep moving. You got to keep burning the midnight oil." But sometimes you need a mental break. You need to step away because sometimes, like it's saying, it can hinder your long-term productivity. It can hinder you from coming up with ideas. Like I woke up this morning and I had 3 different ideas that I wanted
Oh
to
God.
I had 3 new ideas, but I
I
couldn't
sense an
see.
email coming
Right.
soon.
Right? But I couldn't see through the fog. I was foggy for a minute. I just couldn't. I felt like I was like you said, burning the candle on both ends. So
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't getting anything through. And so I kind of like shut down and I couldn't focus. But now I'm fine. I had to think through some things. I had to meditate a little bit, but the best thing I did was just rest and not look at this stuff.
Tiki Barber here. I remember those grueling practices, pushing through fatigue and striving for greatness. Well, that's the same dedication My Herba puts into their supplements. They understand the body's needs. My Herba takes a holistic approach to wellness. Whether it's their sea moss, immune defense, or even sleepy time, they have an option for you. Let My Herba make the best you with code BARBER10 for 10% off at thefitnesscollectif.com.
Well, the fact that you could recognize it, that's it too. And even if you don't recognize it, but then you recognize that I'm tired, or as my aunt would say, "Ooh, I'm weary."
Right.
Because tired, sometimes you're not necessarily tired. You might be just weary because there's just
Right.
so many things that are going on. And especially if there are things that are happening that there is no end in sight.
Right.
That is what kind of gets me sometimes. So, um, it is what it is. I mean, as I was sick the other week, and that worked out good in a sense that, like you said, I couldn't do anything. I
Right.
just getting up, I was tired, I didn't feel well. And then when I started feeling well, then I'm texting you, "Oh, we could do this. Oh, look at
Right.
this." You're like, "Oh God, I
Right.
guess that fever broke."
Right. The fever broke. Exactly.
Yeah. There's the transformation, the transformative power of deep rest. That's another thing that we haven't really talked about, but we can
Right.
go from there. And what is deep rest defined? Some people know it, some people don't, but deep rest occurs, when the body shifts into a parasymptomatic state, allowing the nervous system to reset and heal. And for me, I think getting sick was on point for me to step back and heal. Heal from what? Who knows? But I
Right.
just needed to stop from the being on that proverbial treadmill, hamster wheel, if you will. Treadmill too, because that killed me last week as well.
Right.
Deep rest also promotes physical repair, reduces stress hormones, and recharges energy levels.
Absolutely.
And we know we always have to give the scientific part of it as well. Scientific insights. Studies show that deep rest reduces inflammation, slows aging at the cellular level, and improves your immune function. Again, I didn't listen to my body. And how does that work? My immune system was low and it
Right.
shut it down.
How you get sick.
Say what?
And that's how you get sick.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And some of the ways to mitigate that would be, as you had said earlier, practice such things as meditation, mindful breathing, and yoga induce deep rest, improving both physical and mental health. And I know this doesn't apply to everybody because I'm Gen Xer. Another thing that promoted real good sleep was a good old ass whooping. Let me tell you.
Where you gonna get a good old ass whooping down from?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You know.
I was gonna say,
But I mean,
hubby giving out ass whoopings now.
no, no.
You need a
The
good spanking.
nah, buddy. Look, I don't think you're prepared for what I'm about to give you, and it ain't gonna be nothing nice.
Right.
Nah.
But yeah, that mental health, that deep rest, yoga. We talked about yoga for a lot. Yoga helps a lot of stuff. I know it's stigmatized, like we were talking about one day. It's stigmatized, but it really, with digestion, your immune system, with helping with healing, gut health, relaxation, it helps a lot of things, you guys. It really does.
I was actually sore after a couple of sessions with yoga. I think because when you're doing the sun salutes with yoga,
sun salutations.
Yes. And one lady came in, and I guess she was thinking meditation as opposed to yoga. She was thinking they were one and the same. She was so tore up when the class was over. And this is not what I thought. I think you were thinking meditation.
Yeah. She thought I was going to be in the corner with your legs crossed chanting.
Now, we do meditate every once in a while after I would take the yoga class in the dark room and all that kind of stuff, and then you drift off to sleep. But yeah, not during. You're doing about 30 sun salutations, let me tell you. You're going to be tight for sure.
Right. You will be tight. And I also wanted to touch on really quick before we jump into the next part, that parasympathetic, that parasympathetic state. It says that it will allow for the nervous system to reset and heal, but it also helps reset and heal your digestion as well.
Oh,
yeah. A lot of stuff is tied to your gut, your digestion.
And to rest.
Yes. Yes.
Cortisol, you need to rest, because that'll go be high as well, and then that'll inhibit you from being able to lose weight and everything.
Exactly. You gotta, and we've been preaching, well, not preaching, we've just been discussing.
Yeah, we've been preaching,
I guess so, huh? Check your inside. Your inside lets you know what's going on
right
on your outside. Check your inside out, and that gut is numero uno.
No.
Yes. Let's explore a few types of resets or rest. Few types of rest. There's about 7, so bear with me here. The first one is physical rest. And physical rest can be passive rest, which is sleeping or napping, and it allows your muscles to repair and recover. And we'll go over that a little bit more when we're talking about physical health. When you're in the gym or any type of physical fitness, it is imperative for you to sleep. It is imperative for you to allow your muscles to repair and recover. I know people take recovery, they do recovery shakes or meals and things of that nature, but it says something to actually stop, rest your body, and let what you've done to it repair. And then
what you've done to it,
because you're breaking it down. You're breaking it down to build it back up. And so a lot of times people constantly just go to the gym, but sometimes your body does need a rest in order to show what you have done.
If you want your body down so much, it won't be able to repair.
Right. And you want to see the results of it. It's not always good to constantly be in the gym. If you're going to be in the gym, we'll talk about that later. But so active rest, this is gentle movements like what we just discussed, yoga, swimming. They help reduce muscle tension while promoting blood flow and repair. So things like that's an active rest. So these are different types of physical rest. Then we have your mental rest. Break from the cognitive overload, prevent mental fatigue, and improve your focus. Kind of touched on that. Sometimes you got to shut it down. You got to step away. Give your mind a rest. Because you can't, if it's overpowered or overexerted, you can't see. You're kind of like trapped. Like, I don't know my next step. I don't know what I should do. I don't know my next move, because you haven't given yourself a rest. Sometimes you just step away and let your mind just focus on something different. And then you might get an epiphany. You might get an idea by not focusing on what you're trying to accomplish. giving your mind a rest, that cognitive. Then we have sensory rest. So disconnecting from overstimulating environments, such as reducing screen time,
Oh God,
helps
no.
restore that equilibrium. We actually have a pod episode on this that I'm gonna upload this month. So be on the lookout for that, where we're talking about screen times and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yes.
I'm still a work in progress, but
Still
okay.
right. But shutting off the TV, stepping away, turning off your phone, your tablets, things of that nature kind of help with that. I rest better. I don't know about anybody else. Like I said, in my house, my husband prefers the TV on. I prefer the TV off. So we compromise. Sometimes I'll let the TV stay on while we sleep. And a lot of times the TV's off. And I feel I have a better rest, more quiet, more peaceful REM sleep, more
Hmm.
so than I do if the TV's on with that, what do you call it? That blue light.
Right, right.
Yeah,
And
that
sometimes when all that's on, if you're dreaming because you're hearing the TV and wait a minute.
okay. I told you I thought I was being chased and stabbed and woke up and it was Law and Damn Order. Law and Damn Order. I was like, I told you I don't like to go
There's
to
always
sleep
at
with
least
this
one
craziness.
stabbing and one chase when you're watching
Something.
Law and Order. Which
I'm
one?
waking
It doesn't
up.
matter. Any of them.
Any of them. I was like, oh damn. But yeah, you definitely want to get that. So that sensory rest, shutting things off, shutting them down if you can, putting alarms on it to where it can cut off to kind of help you rest so you're not, obviously that's not for everybody, especially if you have younger kids or older parents, but you do what you can.
Right.
Do what you can. Creative rest. So if you're seeking inspiration from nature, art, or playful activities, fuel creativity and innovation. So that's a creative rest. I like this one as well, especially me. That's more me in the spring and summertime. I love to get out in nature and that helps me rest. Like to ground myself. I do grounding a lot when spring and summer hits where I take my shoes off. And I know that's very controversial, but I take my shoes, my socks off. I get in a grassy area like a park or something, and I just walk and I ground myself in the grass, in the earth.
Why would that be controversial? I mean,
When some places you don't know what's in the dang ground.
God, really?
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
no. I know.
Some people are
I
like,
know.
oh my God, you're walking around with no, do you trust it? I'm like, yeah. I'm not walking in a puddle of still water. You know what I'm saying? I would not trust that more than I would trust walking on grass. But some people are just
Right.
real weird about
Well,
that.
and here we go, the whole Gen Xer thing. I mean, we used to play outside. Well, here we go. First of all, we
Right.
played outside, okay?
We played
But
outside.
but the thing is, the part of town where I lived, it was across the street in your like county and city. There was a couple of differences, but we played, we ran we didn't play, we had no shoes on.
Yep.
Ran all up and down the street,
Yep.
sidewalk, played. And again, so years later, when I met my husband, he has shoes that he wears for the house,
Oh my gosh.
literally house shoes. And I'm like, I take shoes off when I come home.
Right.
I hate wearing shoes. If you ever
I do
see
too.
me, I'm always in Crocs for the most part, but because I can just flip them off. But yeah, so we grew
Yeah.
up where you didn't have shoes. I mean, you had shoes. You were outside. That
You
was
were
the
outside
thing.
playing. Right.
Yeah. And
I
no, we didn't cut ourselves on a rusty nail or a can. I
exactly
mean, you might have stubbed your toe. And
once.
after that, you figured it out.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, we did that all. That was what we did. You couldn't
Ye-
wait for the nice weather. Go outside without your shoes on.
Yeah. Yeah. I do it all the time. I love walking around barefoot. So, that's just me. But that definitely helps with it, I would say.
Hmm.
If you're inspired by nature or art, going to a museum, going to look at art like out here in Oakland and San Francisco. We have a lot of museums. We also have graffiti, or they don't call it graffiti, they call it what do you call it? Memorials.
Mural paintings
Mural.
you're talking
Thank you.
about?
Thank
Okay.
you.
But no, they do.
murals.
But you're not off though, because there are places where they glamorize now graffiti.
Yep.
So you can go there's when I was in art school, another time of my life, I was over in San Francisco, and there were certain areas within San Francisco where the graffiti artists would go, and we would go and watch them
Yep.
do their thing.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know if it was
Yeah.
legal or not back then. Still, we're doing it.
Now it's legal. You get certain areas in the
Oh,
city,
okay, and
you
that
know, to
might have
do
been
it.
the case there too, because they had their scaffolds and this and that and the other. So it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. So things like that, art, stuff like that, it'll help you. It's a creative rest.
Mhm.
Seeing something visually stimulating that helps you like enjoy and appreciate it. So that's a creative rest. Then we have emotional rest. So setting boundaries and expressing emotions honestly alleviates emotional strain. Now, some people may have an issue with this one, but that takes a little bit of emotional, what do they call it? Emotional intelligence.
Chutzpah. Oh, sorry.
Chutzpah too. You got to be able to communicate. If you're a communicator, it helps you setting boundaries and being honest, expressing yourself. This is for you, emotional rest. Getting it off of yourself, making sure that you've talked it out with the person that you may have that emotional issue with, or setting a boundary with people that you need to set boundaries with. This is an emotional rest, because if you hold it in and you're not talking about it, guess what? It's causing issues. Causing issues. Emotional rest, setting boundaries and expressing your emotions honestly. Then we have social rest, spending time with uplifting people or taking intentional solitude restores emotional energy. I think that was kind of the same as what I did when I shut things off. That was kind of like a social rest.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, social rest, like cutting off social media, just disconnecting, not responding, just letting myself get an emotional recharge by doing that. So you can do a social rest. And then we have the spiritual rest. So activities like prayer, meditation, engaging in purposeful community work, providing deeper fulfillment. Again, meditation, I pray. I also meditate. I do believe that it can be one and the same, especially when you're focusing on what you need to focus on. So those things help you stabilize yourself, pull things in, seek answers to questions you may have, and quiet yourself down and just listen. So things
Right.
like that help you it helps you to rest as well. Those are just the 7 things. So I'll go again: physical rest, mental rest, sensory rest, creative rest, emotional rest, social rest, and then spiritual rest. Those are the 7 different types of rest that can help you transform.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
And again, there's another menu.
Right? We always have the menu.
Yeah, can I get some emotional rest with a side order of spiritual rest?
Right.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
I know you can. Didn't say anything about having a combo. You may need to
Right.
supersize it. You know what I'm saying? So, hey.
Right, because even with the whole creative rest, I know this is a little different, but I know whenever I'm trying to work on a project for something, even when I was starting my business and when it was down to, okay, what is the name going to be? What does it look like? This and that. So that in itself was something that was weighing heavy on me, because at that point I didn't know what I didn't know. And you have all these thoughts swirling around in your head. So for me, as far as creative rest, I have to write it down, because I
Right.
got to get it out of my head. So once I get it out of my head and it's on paper, then virtually I could just relax with it. And once I have written it down and you sleep on it, your subconscious is now working on it, because you let it go. And we speak a little bit differently. I'm like putting things out into the universe. I talk about my ancestors, my spirit guides, and all that. But this is where we're the same, but we're still a little different.
Right.
But we
Exactly.
still get to the same point.
Exactly.
But then I can relax. So I don't have that issue anymore of that being a stressor, and where you want to just disconnect and you get overwhelmed and you get burned out. So I've written it, I've got it out of my head, and now my subconscious is working on it. And hopefully we can figure out what it is I'm trying to do. And
Absolutely.
honestly, that did help with me coming up with the name, doing everything. And I can't say enough about writing stuff down to get it out of your head.
Right.
And then you have room to just, again, the little menu here, meditate on what needs to be done. So sorry, I just jumped in there and I just
No, no,
wanted
no. That's what we
to
need.
throw that little, I'm
You
sure I'll do it again before it's over.
know. Okay. Well, let's talk about cultural perspective on rest. What you got?
Okay. Well, let's see. There's a lot of work-life balance in other don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's a lot of work-life balance in a lot of different cultures,
Right.
whereas we work, work, and work. So, for example, Scandinavian countries prioritize shorter work weeks and flexible schedules, valuing leisure and integral that is, excuse me, which is integral to happiness. Sorry,
Right.
a tongue twister. But yeah, they look at things a little bit differently in that work still gets done. You have people that are mentally a little bit more happy than what you
Right.
would be if you weren't able to take that type of rest. And then you also have in Spain, for example, we just hit on a few. We didn't get every single one, but
Yeah.
Spain, for example, their siestas. It's a
Yes.
tradition which underscores the cultural importance of midday rest. Now, I don't have specifics on that, but again, the operative word is rest. And they're doing something right. I'll just put it
Right.
like that. And then there's the inamuri.
Inamiri. Yes.
Yes, thank you. I was like, "Ooh, I gotta say that word." So basically, it's in Japan, and they normalize napping in public spaces, recognizing rest as essential for productivity. Um,
I like this.
Napping in public places,
Right.
that's stress.
She's like napping in public place. I did look this up because I was like, what is talk to it, but it didn't talk to it. And I wanted to know what is
Yeah.
inamiri. So inamiri is the Japanese art of sleeping at work. So they
Oh,
have
okay.
napping. It's like a napping ritual. And I know here, uh, some companies have adapted to things like this. I know, again, startups, because I've been in a few startups in my time.
Mhm.
They have places for you to take naps. So there's actual rooms for you to go to sleep. Some companies have like little nap areas, like they have little beds where you can go lay down. Some
Mhm.
companies offer massage chairs where you can take a rest or things like that. So kind of like Inamuri is it's done in Japan, but I know a lot of startups or a lot of grow tech companies, they utilize things like this, like the Googles of the world, the Facebooks, or excuse me, Meta, the YouTubes, and then a lot of startup companies. It's startup culture. They provide like places for you to do yoga, places for you to rest, places for you if you are a mother coming back and you breastfeed. They have places for you to go in in there and nurse and things of that nature, or get that out of you so you can take it home. And they provide the storage. Just they offer a
Oh,
lot of things
wow.
like that. Yeah, they offer things like that to make it more manageable, more inclusive. So you can, and again, we talked about this where they provide so much stuff to where you don't have to leave. You don't need to leave and go when they you don't need to leave. They have international cuisine. They have volleyball, basketball courts. They have bikes for you to ride. They have everything's there. And this is one of those. They provide places for you to take a nap, go to sleep.
Well, that's just what the other place I used to work at, a major energy bar company in the Bay Area.
Right.
And what they did, again, I was a lot younger, so it worked to my advantage, but we had a climbing wall in our office. So
Hmm.
when you're on breaks, you're up there climbing the wall. We had trainers to where you got to work, you got basically paid to work out.
Yep.
I had already left the company by this time, but then they had incorporated dry cleaning service.
Yep.
And when I was there was back then, it was two companies. It was Peapod and it was Webvan for those. And I
I
think, believe
remember
it or not,
Peapod.
Peapod is still around. It's based
Yeah.
out of Chicago, but Peapod was out here. And then Webvan was like their A to their B, so to speak.
Right.
And what I would do, I would get off before I get off work. I'd place my order 30 minutes before they drop it off at my job, and they will put it in the trunk of the car. So I've already gone grocery shopping. Yeah. And then we had somebody that would come every so often, I think like twice a month, they would come and wash your car. You have to pay for that service. But again, they set up everything so you didn't have to think about anything else but work. And now I know better. I don't want to live there. So if there's a place that's got all these amenities, I'm like, what do you want?
You want me to spend a night? That's what you want me to
Basically.
do.
Basically. So that works for some people.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know now, it does not for me. But
Yeah,
there you go.
that's that culture.
Yes.
Exactly.
For sure. But the role of rest and physical health and fitness. Now, that's another thing. The science of muscle recovery. You need to rest because your muscles need to recover, which is, again, what you had said. If you're always at the gym and you don't let your body rest, you done tore it down. How is it going to regenerate? How are you going to recuperate? So during physical activity, muscles experience micro tears, which we just said, that need rest to repair and grow stronger.
Exactly. Exactly. You can't, I see people who are, I'm not even going to say who this is. When they listen to it, you're going to know, but they do take rest now. But a lot of times they're at the gym like 7, 8, 9 days straight. At the gym.
Are you working out or are you socializing?
Working out.
Okay. Because there's some people that, I mean, when
they
go,
do. Yeah, they're like just sitting up
a click.
talking. Yeah, they sitting up.
Okay,
talking.
your turn. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then they go around, and then they go around, and it's like you're there for 8 hours. Come on.
Or they sit around. They stand around like the bench. And you're like, okay, dude, I need the bench. The other benches are taken, and y'all just sitting up here hobnobbing, talking about y'all week and everything else. I'm like, can you move? Can you move? Are you gonna use it? What we doing? What we doing? That is etiquette. Okay, gym etiquette, y'all. Back away from the machine if all you gonna do is talk for 30, 40 minutes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And on top of that, going all that, what's it? You said 8, 9 days a week straight or something like that. Inadequate rest can lead to overuse, injuries, inflammation, and prolonged recovery times. And you won't see the strides that you've made when you have worked out. You're not going to see the fruits of your labor because you keep tearing it down. I was trying to look at me. No, I'm going to tear it down some more. So you never get to see it. So performance benefits of rest days are critical for endurance athletes, runners, cyclists, swimmers, to improve performance and avoid plateaus. See, that's the main thing. I remember when I was trying to be a figure competitor and the plateaus were the worst.
Yes.
I remember my trainer would say, okay, basically you're starving yourself because you're trying to get down to a certain weight. Then you might have to eat a little bit. Then I'm like, no.
Right. Right.
But I had to because that was get my metabolism working again. I'm working out and then I dropped the weight. I don't know how that all works. That's not my area, but that's what I had to do. And then I saw that I broke that plateau.
Exactly.
Crazy.
That's that science. That's crazy. I have a girlfriend, a friend of mine that I know that she competed and she would get down to where she's so cut up. But then right before competition, they would let her have a burger.
Yes.
She eats this massive burger. Before she goes on stage, like an hour or so before she goes on stage. And I'm like, what? But yeah, it's the science of it all.
Yeah. Hence why I do powerlifting. That's a whole nother weird science in itself too. But yeah.
Wait, this is topic adjacent. Did you get that thing that I showed you about the power lifters who they be tinkling? That they lift so heavy that they tinkle?
No, but I haven't had that happen, but I could see how that would happen.
I'm like, everyone that I see that's women who are lifting heavy, they end up being they lifted, but bladder has just let loose and nobody's
Well, I can't. I don't know why. That I don't know why. Maybe I thought you were talking about when like a little trickle in your drawers or something. But...
full on.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, wow.
Yeah, full on. I sent it to you. I was like, I was like, do you be doing this? This you?
Oh, okay. I got to go back and look. I'm sorry. I didn't see that. And I'm glad I didn't, but for obvious reasons. But no, I'm not lifting that heavy.
Somebody let us know in the comments about this powerlifting and the golden shower that comes when
Oh
you're
God.
lifting
Ooh.
full
We're
on.
traveling into some
Right.
really swampland areas. Let's get out of there. Proper recovery enhances flexibility, strength, and coordination in activities like, as we spoke before, yoga and
Yes.
our little meeting place, hiking and
Yes.
weightlifting. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh God. I'm still trying to
You
shake
got
off
it
what
in
you
your
said.
head, right?
Yeah. Don't think I'm not gonna have that conversation with my trainer on Wednesday. Yeah, so do I. Hormonal impact on rest. Sleep and rest regulate hormones like cortisol, like we spoke about, and human growth hormone, HGH,
Mhm.
essential for muscle repair and fat metabolism. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, man. And one of the things as far as your metabolism and fat, when I was younger, I used to tell people, yeah, if I wanted to lose some weight, you skip a meal.
Right.
You're 20 running
Exactly.
around, it didn't make a difference. Now, should I skip a meal? I am dizzy as fuck and I need something to eat now.
Okay, I get the shake sometimes. I'm like, "Uh-oh, is my sugar off?" Because I'll be like this.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's skipping a meal or something. Only time I'll skip something is if I'm busy and I forget. And that's not tons. But how about chronic sleep deprivation disrupts these hormonal imbalances, impairing physical performance and recovery. So, again, if you're not sleeping, you're not resting, that also has an adverse effect on your health as well. Rest for joint health and injury prevention. High impact activities like running and basketball can strain joints and ligaments. Rest reduces the strain and lowers the risk of injuries. Integrating active recovery. Activities like foam rolling,
Mhm.
stretching, or light swimming improve circulation and promote healing without overloading the body.
Absolutely.
So, and I also have one of those, and I have a little foam roller, but what I really have is one of those, it looks like a drill, but it's like
Yep.
you put, yeah, that works.
We have
It's
that and
amazing.
the foam roller. And do you have the little prickly it's like the balls with the spikes in them?
I've,
Spikes?
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, we have one of those that you roll over, roll on your body that helps reduce promotes that circulation as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that and you should be stretching before. Some people say after you work out. Some people say before. I just say do it. It definitely helps. It helps rather than I know when I don't stretch and I even with lifting, if I don't stretch, I feel tight. I don't feel
Right.
it takes me a minute before I get loose,
Yeah.
right? It
Yeah.
takes me about
I use that
20, 30
band
minutes.
and
Yeah.
I do that just to get the juices flowing or grease
Yes.
it up a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you definitely need to. Some people just go straight in, and a lot of times I do go straight in, but it definitely helps. I can feel the difference if I have stretched, if I have done
Oh,
my
okay.
stretches. Yeah,
Okay.
especially
Okay.
on leg day. Oh my goodness, you definitely need to get your stretch on before leg day.
Right. Now, I usually sometimes after I work out, I usually go into the sauna and
Yes.
I just sit there. And that's usually when I'm doing lower body. Upper
Mhm.
body, I'm barely getting out of there on time to get out. But lower body, definitely I go sit my ass in that sauna and
Absolutely. That
meditate.
and meditate. Exactly. Get your sweat on and meditate. Absolutely. And that foam roller helps with your legs too when you're doing leg day. You want to hit the foam roller will definitely help get the kinks out before you
Yeah.
start doing all those squats and everything that you have to do. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I don't like leg day. Yeah, I digress. But okay, let's talk about practical rest activities for holistic well-being. So,
Okay.
incorporating rest into your daily lives, you guys. Physical rest, schedule some rest days, prioritize your sleep, and use active recovery techniques to enhance your circulation. And you're probably saying, what are active recovery techniques? We talked about them: yoga, swimming, stretching, walking, not running, walking, an active, nice stroll. You don't have to power walk, just a nice stroll. You can make it long. Some people have to feel something before they think that anything is working. But some people are like that. Like, I gotta go 5 miles. I gotta walk 5, 10 miles. No, just take a walk, an active walk. You can swim. That's very relaxing. These are techniques for your rest days to prioritize. So sleep, active recovery techniques, those things help to enhance the circulation. Then we have the mental rest. You can use the Pomodoro technique. And so they have this Pomodoro technique, which says 25 minutes of focus and 5 minutes of rest. I actually wanted to, you know me, I was looking, is there anything else Pomodoro that I can tell the people? Because I'm not familiar with Pomodoro. Maybe you guys are, but it's a technique of time management, basically. And the method was developed by Francesco Carrillo in the late 1980s. So it's pretty much time management, blocking off time and utilizing your time to the best of your ability. Like you said, 25 minutes of focus and then 5 minutes of rest. You can utilize it at work. That's how you can block off time to get things done at work. You block off, some people do blocking of time for work. Like I'm going to do, say for instance, I'm going to edit. I'll block off, I'm just going to edit for an hour. And then after that, I'm going to take a rest. And then I'm going to come back and I may create a video for 30, 40 minutes for something else. So it's pretty much blocking off time and then taking rest in between. That's the type of mental rest. Or you can take short mindful breaks during the week. Those are always a plus too. Like I said, walk away. Sometimes if you walk away and come back, you'll be a little bit more refreshed. I have a problem with this and I fully admit it, but when I do it, it does work.
Well, I was thinking if like the 9 to 5ers as well. And one thing I did not do, one thing I noticed, the people that smoked, they took the most breaks.
Girl,
They
oh
were,
my
and
goodness.
again, nothing against them for smoking. That's your
shade.
thing, but they were the ones that were mainly outside taking the breaks.
Yep.
And I was one, I don't smoke, but then I had to make sure that I took my breaks. Now, I might not necessarily leave my desk area, my cubicle, which in itself was a bad thing because I'm still doing shit, whether it's balancing the checkbook or doing this, making an appointment or something.
Right.
I'm not completely at rest, getting up and walking away. When I would go out, I would see the same people that would be out taking their breaks. So I just thought it was kind of interesting that it's healthy to take a break, but the ones that were smoking were the ones mainly taking the break. So
yeah, because they had to get out there and get in they
Well,
will
yeah.
weather the storm, rain, snow.
Oh, it didn't matter. They might be huddled together, but it's still, they're out there.
You
They're
gotta get
out
that
there.
smoke in, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And it's true. It's true. You do need to take those. Like I said, I'm bad at it, especially when I go into the office, but and it's bad. And I shouldn't be promoting this, but I would rather, because I'm exempt. So you still should take your breaks, but because I'm exempt, I wanted to just get everything done. And then I want to take off early. If I leave like an hour or so early, that helps me. So I like to just get in there, do what I need to do, and leave. That was my mentality. But you should be taking those breaks. I'm even worse at it when I work from home. So, I said, I'm not the poster child for this technique, but when I do it, it works. But I'm not the poster child. So please don't put me up as the poster child for this. Because
I'm a poster child, but not for that.
Right. Exactly. I'm a poster
Yeah,
child.
no, I agree with you. I'm like that too. Because sometimes I'm like, God, I'm hungry. Did I eat today? I do. Then I'm looking at my planner on one. I said, no, I didn't. I was doing something else.
Exactly. So it time gets away from me, but when I do incorporate it, when I mindfully do it, I do feel better. But my go-to is just power through.
Right.
So that's me. Now we're looking at these are, and by the way, this is for the 7 types of rest. So I'm going over some daily, incorporating it into your daily life. So we just went over physical, mental. Now we're going over sensory rest, these things that we talked about earlier. So in sensory rest, you can create a tech free zone, what I was saying,
Mhm.
and spend time in nature to reduce your sensory overload. Walk away, if you can't do it at night, cut it off for an hour. Walk away from it for an hour. See how you feel. Do things like that. Shut it off for an hour. And then if you can add onto that a couple of hours, do turn off your TV. A
Mhm.
lot of people watch social media like YouTube. YouTube you can watch on your TV. Cut it off. Just cut it off, walk away, read a book, take a walk, get into nature, do something outside and stop looking at your phone. It's so many people I see outside walking their dog. And I swear for God, the dog is walking them because they watching the dog is walking them.
Yeah. Now that's one thing I don't do, because just for a safety purpose,
Right.
and I'm on my phone or something, and then here I am thinking the worst. Somebody come try to attack you. But I need to be aware of my surroundings
That too.
all the time. So
That too.
I, I definitely don't do that.
Absolutely. Be aware of your surroundings and just enjoy it, especially on beautiful days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get out and walk and just don't have that sucker on. You don't even have to have in headphones. Don't listen to nothing. Don't
Ooh,
listen
I
to
don't
a
walk with
book.
headphones.
I do.
Y'all ain't walking up on me. I'll be damn.
I usually have one in.
Nope.
So I have one in and one out.
Nope.
But I listen to books and stuff like that. But a lot of times I do utilize not doing it just to soak up the sun, look at the sky and things of
Right.
that nature. So that helps me decompress. So that's a sensory rest, example of. And then creative rest, explore nature. Again, we're talking about nature. Nature helps. Nature will relax you. Visit an art gallery. Try new hobbies to reset your mind and spark inspiration. You might start a new hobby like gardening, things of that nature. What else can you do far as a hobby? What do you call it? I'm trying to think of it and I'm not. And it's something that I don't like to scrapbooking. You can scrapbook, you can color. People like to color.
I wouldn't have
and
guessed
you-
scrapbooking, by the way. So I was
know.
trying to help you, but it's like, I got nothing.
I think it was the vision board or putting things up like what you want in the future, like cutting things
Mhm.
out, and that helps you be creative a little bit, get your mind off other things. But
Right.
you can do that. You can do coloring. Some people like to color. They have coloring books. You can still go get a coloring book and some
Oh,
color
they've got the
pencils
really
and
intricate
crayons.
ones for adults for sure. I
Yeah.
don't do it, but yeah.
They have some decent ones that you can utilize. Just do
Mhm.
something different. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of things
Right.
that are normal to you. Try something different and it may relax you. So look at that for your creative rest. And then emotional rest, like journaling. We've talked about that here, journaling or
Yes.
therapy. Getting some therapy or talking to trusted friends can provide a safe space for emotional release. I have done that. I have done that recently. So it definitely
Mhm.
helps to get things off your mind because sometimes you think that you're the only person going through it. So you keep it in and it can cause unrest
Yes.
in your psyche and your mental. But if you have a trusted friend, you just don't go out here telling everybody. You just don't turn on your microphone and start telling the masses.
Or posting.
Because judgment comes, judgment be a coming. Talk to someone that you can trust, that you know that won't be talking about your private things or things that you hold dear, but you needed to get off your chest and talk through it, or just have somebody listen to you. Sometimes you just want somebody to listen to you talk about your situation. And sometimes you want someone to just, if they can relate to your situation, that definitely helps as well. That emotional rest. And like we said, journaling, writing things down actually also helps as well. Then we have that social rest. So spend time with energizing people or intentionally retreat to solitude for reflection and recharging. Again, I'm one of these proponents. I don't mind doing that. I will go somewhere, not curl up in a ball, but I will lay my butt
Hey,
out.
hey,
Right.
hey.
I can't curl up in a ball. I'm too dang tall.
It's called fetal position. It's not
My
curled up
knees are
into a ball.
my
Thank
knees are
you.
gonna hurt. My knees are
Well,
gonna
you're
hurt. I
12
can't do
feet
it.
tall. Of course, they're going to hurt.
I can't do that, but I can lay out, stretch
Jeez.
out, get my little comfy. I got my little comfy robe, my little furry robe,
Okay.
and just chill out, relax, make me something, some warm tea, or sometimes I do lemon and honey, and just chill out. Just mindless retreat. I don't want
Okay.
to think about it. Don't talk to me about nothing. Leave me alone. I'm in my moment. But I'm recharged after that. And then they have the spiritual rest. Engage in mindfulness practices like prayer, like we said, prayer, meaningful community involvement, prayer, meditation, community involvement. And like I said, prayer and meditation for me comes hand in hand. I pray. I also meditate on certain scriptures that speak out to me. I like meditate on that verse and for the day or for the hour to see what comes out of it. That helps you get yourself going and praying, getting things off of you. Do that. You know what I'm saying? And then get involved in community things. That also helps with a lot of churches have a lot of community outreach. So there's no exception. Get into some type of a church. A lot of them have community outreach or a Salvation Army. And a lot of them you can help out. That sometimes that helps you with that type of spiritual rest. By helping someone else, it helps you to helps your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So things of that nature. In conclusion, rest is not a luxury. It's a biological and psychological necessity for optimal health, wellness, and fitness. And by understanding your rest in all forms, you can prevent burnout. And we can't say that enough. It does. You need to understand when you need to take a break. You need to understand when you need to unplug. It shouldn't be frowned upon. It shouldn't be stigmatized. It shouldn't be something that is looked at as negative. It's a necessity. A lot of people can leave this earth because they haven't taken the time to decompress or rest, or whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever. These are very important things, and don't let anybody pressure you, no matter who it is or where it is. You shouldn't allow people to pressure you or frown upon you for wanting to get rest, for wanting to decompress, from wanting to disconnect. It is essential for everyone, and you will be a better person for it, in my opinion. That's my opinion. But we encourage listeners to definitely adopt in diverse rest activities or strategies, and challenge yourself to try something. Try one of these. If you have a problem with it, like I said, I'm one of these people. It's hard for me to not work through a work day and take a break. But I definitely try. I definitely try to do it. There's other areas that I'm better at it, and some areas I'm not. But try one of these. Try one or two of these and see what you think. What do you got, Casey?
Well, what I've got is, I guess we have some call to actions. Or, okay. I just want to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So, of course, call to action. Subscribe to Disrupt and Discuss for more health, wellness, and physical insights. Share this episode with someone who could benefit from prioritizing rest in their life.
Yes.
Join us on our social media and share your favorite rest activities or recover strategies.
Yes, we would love to hear from you guys. Definitely tell us if it's something that we didn't incorporate that you do and you think it's helped you. We'd love to hear about it. Let us know in the comments.
Absolutely.
Let us know in the comments. Yeah.
Is it that time again?
Yes.
Getting to know us.
Getting to know us.
Yes. And I don't know if this is something you want to know or
you
do, but you're going to get to know it anyway.
You are.
Okay.
You are.
So I'm going to pull again. Shout out to Hella Awkward.
Shout out Hella Awkward cards.
Yes. Actually, I played the game with a group of people.
Yeah. How did that go?
It went really well. It opened up conversation. It was funny. And maybe it was the whiskey and the coffee. I don't know, but it was actually really good people. But then when you read the questions, you actually really get to know them. And it wasn't anything really pervasive or anything, but it was really good conversation.
You didn't have no
Okay.
shock like, girl.
No, we didn't
No.
have any of those. We
Okay.
didn't have any of those. Although I did answer one, but I'll tell you about that later.
Okay.
Let's see. There's 3 categories that I have. So I'm gonna let
Okay.
you pick the one first. Relationships, real talk, or dating.
Let's go with relationships.
All righty.
Mm.
Relationships for 200.
Mm.
Let's see. Has a friend or lover ever used their mental health as a crutch to take advantage of you? Can mental health ever be used in that way?
Mental health can be used in that way. You do have some people out there that utilize their traumas or the way they think about things. There could be narcissists out there that utilize certain things to get you to do certain things. So yes, mental health can be used.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like I said, I only have one little nondescript little story, but when I first entered into college, I was dating someone that wasn't going to college, which was not a big deal to me at that time or now, to be honest. But as I progressed from freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and all of that, I could tell that there was this weirdness, meaning I would say something and not necessarily correct something, but it was just I would have a different opinion than I normally would have because, again, learning different things, going and experiencing different things. Oh, everybody know you went to college just because you went to college. So now when he was lifting me up and was like, yeah, my girl is in college. Yeah. Now, yeah, we know you went to college. We don't want to hear about it. So then all of a sudden I started feeling, damn, I don't want to say anything. So then I started to shut down. We all know that relationship wasn't going to last with a snowball's chance in hell anyway. But knowing what I know now. But the thing is, those tactics, then you start to diminish yourself and they start throwing that at you. All the stuff that you're doing and accomplishing, it's actually being used as a weapon against you. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I've had one where I could say I had a boyfriend. He went away to the military.
Mm-hmm.
And when he went away to the military, he didn't want to go because we had gotten back together. And hopefully he never hears this podcast, but he didn't want to leave. And so he did end up leaving. He went to boot camp and all that wonderful stuff. And so during that time frame, I was hanging around with his brother, his best friends, and things of that nature. They were checking up on me. I guess he wanted them to check up on me, but there was a few times when I wasn't there to take his call, right?
Oh boy.
That call that where you at? What you da, 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 da. So I wasn't there. And when he did get to me, where were you? What are you doing? I'm like, I was with your brother and your best friend. So then it went into, why are you with them so much? You trying to mess with my head? What do you mean? Why am I? You got them looking out for me. Now he's not trusting his brother and his best friends. Now he think that they may be trying to do
He's
something.
just running, his mind is just running all different kind of areas. Okay.
And trying to make me insecure, but in the back of my mind, it ended up people act out when they're doing certain things, right?
Man, I was gonna say, what's he doing?
Yeah, they act out when they acting up, and that's what it turned out to be. You were doing your thing out there, and then you just assumed. So you're trying to project onto me. Mental health is a real thing, and relationships can get
it can get funky. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Real talk or dating?
You pick the next one.
All right, let's do real talk.
What you got?
Not like we have been talking all this time, right? Maybe I'll open up. How about that? Okay.
Right.
So parenting is hard. What should your parents have taught you when you were younger? I'll go first. I don't know if you have an answer or not, but I'll go. I'm talking bullet points. So then I'll go back and explain. Compromise, let go, and adults. one of the things they didn't teach me, when they're so used to teaching you, do as I say, all this kind of stuff, that when you do become an adult, your child is still your child, but your child is now an adult. You have to recognize that. That was one of the issues within my relationship with my father, as a specifically.
Mhm.
And so my girls are older, and how they're running their lives, they're not doing anything nefarious or anything, but how they run their lives and run their household is how they run their lives and their household. I can't go
Right.
in and tell them what to do. They're not going to listen to me anyway. But, and I have to recognize that they are adults. The way I would do things is not the way they would necessarily do things. The
Right.
same result will happen, but we'll just come at it a different way. And I have to be aware of that, because one of my biggest, not fears, but one of my biggest things that I am concerned about, I don't want to lose the relationship with my daughters,
Yep.
in turn with my grandkids. So I have to do that. I have to be cognizant of that, because that was one of the biggest things, that was the big wedge between me and my parents.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they even realized that, because it was just do as I say. And it's
Right.
like, I'm at that time, I'm 30, I'm 35, I'm 40, I'm, what are you talking about? So yeah, that was my thing.
I got you. I agree with that. I said I'm looking at how to have a family. That's what my
Mhm.
mom didn't teach me. More so because we were a family. It was me, my mom, and I have two brothers. I have five brothers total, but I have two brothers with my mom.
Mhm.
And we were a single parent household. So it wasn't like this family unit. She worked a lot and we were latchkey kids.
I know that.
She wasn't really family oriented per se. She was family meaning during the holidays, wanting family around, but on everyday life, it wasn't like this family. It definitely wasn't family which on TV, right? So she definitely didn't teach me how to really like show love, which she should have. Her love was we have this house, we have a place to stay, we got food on the table, you got clothes, we're not on the street. So ha, I love you. Hey, this
Deal
means
with
I
it.
love you. This is us. I love you. We got the necessities of life. So it was never said. So for me, what that meant in raising my kids is that I try to tell them I love them, hug on them, talk to them. I spent lots of time just having conversations because those are things that I did not get from my mom. It was
Right.
like implied. See how I do this. Look how I maneuver. That's how I caught on. She didn't teach me how to cook. She didn't let me cook in the kitchen, but I watched her. You know what I'm saying? So there
Right.
wasn't like I didn't really learn per se from my mom by her telling me. It was more so watching her. I realized that's not how I want to be. That's not healthy, obviously. And we can have that conversation for another day. It's not healthy, but in turn, that's how I didn't raise my kids. So I wanted to love on them, let them know that I was there for them, that I had their back in school and anything they wanted to talk to me about. Those are things that I do because I want them to know that I care and I may have something that can help them because guess what? I've walked this earth before you did. So even though
Correct.
things change, there's some fundamentals that stay the same. And so
Correct.
that's what I like to that I've incorporated that I didn't get from my mom. I wish I had have gotten from my mom, but that's what I do with my kids today.
Yeah. I'm going to just move on to the next one. Dating. I know we're married, but
Yeah,
this question is still dating.
still
And
dating.
yeah. So here we go. How do you end a casual relationship? Ghost, slow fade, or direct and honest?
I'm direct and honest. I ain't got time to ghost you. I'm not going to coddle you
Yeah.
and walk you through this and slightly tell you when it's over. For example, I had a guy that I dated years and years ago before I was married, and he was going to school in Monterey, San Luis Obispo area. And we had a long distance relationship. It just didn't work out. I'm just gonna be honest. Can I be honest real quick? Real quick.
Oh, I don't know. Oh Lord. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest real quick.
All
Quick.
right.
It's not gonna be bad. All right?
Okay.
When we give freedoms openness, and I'm letting you know that I know you're way out there. I don't expect much. I'm way out here. Just
You gave him the green light to do what he wants to do when he out there,
when
right?
he out there, I get full that's what I gave him. I was like, just when I come in town,
Okay.
whatever is happening needs to shut down while I'm there.
Wow. Okay. All right.
That's all. You
All
know,
right.
we were dating, and I feel when you're dating, you're not married. I'm being realistic. I was being realistic, you guys. And I don't know what it is about some people, but they, even when you give them those freedoms, they still can't. They can't.
They can do it,
abide.
but they don't want you doing it.
Right.
That's the thing. So,
and so that was just the thing. They couldn't do it. Short version, even shorter. They couldn't do it. And so I was like, oh, this is not going to work.
Damn.
Bye-bye.
I see. My philosophy is a little different. I'm the slow to fade to ghost. But this is why. If it's not already, if you've gone out like a first date or something like that, no, there's no feelings involved, there's no commitment.
Right.
And so then if you're on a date and they say like, hey, you maybe want to get together again, my go-to, my kids hate it. Oh, we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. And I might call or they might call, but then I'll just slowly start to fade away.
So it just slowly trickles off.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
I don't do that. I'm the one that the cousin always called. Why you break up with my cousin? Me. I'm like, look, this ain't got nothing to do with you.
No, and we already know if it's going somewhere or it's not. So I just assume you want to go out again? Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see. Yeah. Because I would sometimes give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I was not having the best of days either. And when I realized, oh hell no, I was doing great. Now I don't want to be bothered. Then I just fade away.
Exactly.
That word. I don't know. What? Hello.
It don't like me. There we go. There you go. Hey. Hey, y'all. Hey, for the audio, you don't understand what's going on. But, I was blurred out for a second.
Yeah. See, because you're so direct. See, if you were fading away, you wouldn't have that problem.
Man,
but anyway, that's
20-year-old E was something to deal with.
Now, see, here's the thing. Now, how I am today, it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I still would be nice. But
I don't even know. I probably would be, I guess, I would be you now. The way you were then.
I would be more like you now because I did that, and I'm like, ugh.
I was like, let me be, let me just ghost.
No.
Take the hint.
Let's cut to the chase. No, there is no other dates. There is none.
Yeah, I did all that in my 20s. 20-year-old, like I said, 20-year-old E. Yeah. I was like, I don't give it
that's not on the question. So we're not going to talk about Casey's 20-year-old self. I don't think I'm ever going to put those questions out there.
We can walk past each other and I will act like I don't know.
Oh, no, I can do that. That's not a problem. But then again, we all don't travel in those same circles. So chances are, if I'm seeing you, you're just a fucking stalker because you shouldn't be here. So, but anyway, that's all the questions I have. Again, with
that's all the questions.
To know you for today.
To know you.
Like I said, you can't give them everything.
Can't give them everything.
Gotta get just a little bit.
Well, hopefully you guys like that segment. Right. Hopefully you guys like that segment of getting to know E and KC. Let us know in the comments. Let us know, how do you separate in dating? Do you ghost? Do you just, what do you call it? Trickle away?
Fade away?
Fade away?
Yeah.
Or do you just let them know, look, this ain't working. Lose my number. I'm going to block you. I'm not even gonna pick up the phone. We didn't have block back then. I'm not gonna pick up the phone if I see.
Yeah, see, there you go.
And if I hear your voice, I'm gonna hang up on you because I told you I don't want to talk to you no more.
Well, my daddy need to use the phone. I gotta call you back.
I ain't lying. I don't want to talk to you.
No, my dad did have to use the phone.
So let us know in the comments, how do you handle those types of situations?
Yes.
So we would love to hear from you guys. Well, that's it. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us again.
Thank you.
Yes, we talked about the science of laziness, how, how it's stigmatized and the myths. We debunked it. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And if you do, again, let us know. Shout out again to Hella Awkward Cards. Again, I'm going to put her information. I'm going to put her information, her IG, into the description. So if you guys want those cards, definitely check them out. We would love for you to utilize them and let us know. And tell her that you came from D&D Disrupt and Discuss. When you hit her up on her IG, let her know that you indeed Disrupt and Discuss sent you guys and tag us in that. So we would love to let her know that we enjoy her cards and that we're utilizing them and that we're pushing folks to her. So again, you guys, thank you so much for rocking out with us. And we are going to end this. We will see you in the next one. Bye.